goods and service tax introduced since July 2017 as the 122nd Amendment Bill of the Constitution of India, is the most comprehensive indirect tax levy on manufacturers. In order to bring about clarity and lucidity on these important subjects, the Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, under the aegis of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Scheme, Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, launched the 7 days certificate course oblique the faculty development program. I, Rekha Dayal, welcome you all to today's Samapan program, that is the valedictory function, which signifies a successful culmination of this program. We would like to initiate today's proceedings with Saraswati Vandana paying obeisance to the goddess of knowledge, Ma Saraswati. May I request Dr. Purushottam to kindly play the Vandana for us?
या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
Ma'am,
Uh, am I audible, sir?
audible and visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Purushottam. Uh, Now I would call upon Dr. Jael Gupta to kindly welcome the esteemed guests. Before I do so, I would like to inform the attendees and the guests as well that they will be listening to our grand young man now, youngest in the team in terms of his energy that Sir radiates, his tenacity, and the 24/7 capacity to work. Dr. Jael Gupta currently is member of the highest decision-making body of University of Delhi, which is the Executive Council. He has the wonderful and rich experience of teaching as a professor in Atmaram Sanatan Dharm College earlier. For us, he is a mentor, guide, and a man of indomitable energy. And I have lost count of the number of workshops, FDPs, orientation programs, and the research and development programs that have been conducted under his supervision. Thank you so much, sir, for being there for us always. I call upon Dr. Jael Gupta now.
Dr. Rekha Dayal for motivating me by calling a young man. A very pleasant afternoon to one and all. Friends, for me, this is a matter of pride and honor to be in the midst of a galaxy of distinguished guests sitting around us on virtual platform. Chief guest, CA R.M. Johri ji, Director General, C&AG of India, member NFRA. We have got Professor I.M. Pandey, former Dean and Director, IIM Ahmedabad, former HOD, Department of Financial Studies, University of Delhi. We have got CA Sushil Goyal, member, Central Council member, Central Council ICAI, and also Vice President, GST Committee, ICAI. We have got Sachin Jain, IRS, Deputy Director General, NCR. Of course, our own man, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, President, NCR Chapter. Professor S.P. Agarwal, Principal, Ramanujan College, members of the organizing team, colleagues, friends, and dear participants from all over the country. I welcome you all to this valedictory session of the certificate course on direct taxes and GST. This course on direct taxes and GST was designed to help corporate and practicing professionals, faculty members deal with new regulatory requirements, increase their awareness and understanding of latest laws promulgated in the field of GST and direct taxes. I'm sure this must have been a great experience for the participants to learn from the masters of the subjects, as each and every resource person is a renowned faculty in the area. The organizing team, led by CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, followed by Dr. Rekha Dayal, Dr. Anjali Gupta, Dr. Charu, Anshika Agarwal, Dr. Purushottam, of course, under the able guidance of Professor S.P. Agarwal, needs to be complimented, because they could successfully manage to rope in the best brain available in the country in the area of direct taxes and GST. Apart from the comprehensive theoretical aspects, it has been our endeavor to sharpen the expertise and excellence of the participants through the exposure given by the learned resource person. At the end, I wish to congratulate the participants for their successful completion of the course. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. We are really proud to be associated with Ramanujam College as part of the Indian Accounting Association under your supervisions. And I'm very happy to say that the number of FDPs, the certificate courses that have been done under your leadership and Dr. S.P. Agarwal and of course CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal's guidance have had tremendous impact and value to the participants. On this occasion, when we are concluding a very successful venture on GST and direct taxes, on behalf of each one of us, I am honored to welcome our chief guest, Shri R.M. Johri, sir, who's Director General, CAG, Government of India, member NFRA. I'm also delighted to welcome Shri C.A. Sushil Kumar Goyal Sahab, Vice Chairman, Board of Studies Academic, Institute of Chartered Accountancy of India. We extend a warm welcome to Shri Sachin Jain, IRS, presently holding the coveted position of Deputy Director General in the Narcotics Control Bureau under the Ministry of Home Affairs. We are equally happy and delighted to have with us our very own Professor I.M. Pandey, former Dean IIM Ahmedabad, former Professor and Dean Department of Commerce, University of Delhi, former Director General, Vivekanand Institute, and Dean School of Management, AIT, Thailand. We extend a hearty welcome to all the participants, core team, our principal, Sir Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Dr. J.L. Gupta, sir, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. I would also like to inform the other August gathering that we have had really masters on the subject delivering their lectures to the participants, starting with CA Dr. Girish Ahuja, Dr. Ravi Gupta, Mr. Pradeep Dinodia, partner SR Dinodia, Mr. Ashok Batra, senior partner AK Batra and Associates, Mr. Bimal Jain, executive director A2 Tex Corporation, CA Aditya Agrawal, founder GST Samadhan.in, CA Kusum Gandhi, AGM Accounts Insecticides Limited, Rahul Gupta sir, partner PwC, Mr. Vijay Iyer, partner EY, CA Amit Buddhiraja, GST expert, and CA Prashant Raizadas, both experts in GST. Before we go on with our other program, we have our guiding force, CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, who really worked very hard for this program. A brilliant professional with an impressive academic record, Dr. Singhal has been the president of the Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter right from its inception. He's a gold medalist from the University of Delhi with his education from SRCC, Delhi School of Economics, and a PhD from the Faculty of Management Studies. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal is an authority on accounting standards and has organized many workshops on it. He was nominated by the government on NACAS. Presently, he is a partner with SR Bartley Boy. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal added another feather to his cap when he won the coveted election as member of the Central Council, Institute of Chartered Accountancy of India. At such a young age, he has contributed his expertise in many sectors like pharma, healthcare, financial services, and has been part of several social responsibility ventures as a true citizen of the country. I may also add here that Dr. Sanjeev Singhal has been a recipient of many awards, including not only the gold medal, but the Alumni Award from Shri Ram College of Commerce, and of course the Lifetime Achievement Award, which was bestowed upon him on 5th of September. Now I would call upon Dr. Sanjeev Singhal to give an overview of this program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rekha Dayal. When we were finalizing this program, we have agreed that, since I'm the host, so my introduction will not be given, but thank you so much for this generous introduction. Dr. S.P. Agarwal, the force behind this program, because his support is always there. He says, ho jayega, koi chinta nahi hai. Dr. J.L. Gupta, and we have named him again and again, Jhandu Chavanprash, and Dr. Anjali Gupta, Dr. I.M. Pandey, who's been my teacher, and three of my very, very esteemed friends, starting with Sachin Jain. Sachin has been my school friend. So we have studied together since from 11th class. So it's really a childhood friend. और आज जब उसका इंट्रोडक्शन देने की बारी आएगी तो मुझे इतना खुशी भी है और ये लगता है अच्छा इतने बड़े हो गए हम लोग के 1989 में जब 11th क्लास से साथ स्कूल पढ़े फिर श्री राम कॉलेज में साथ पढ़े and now we have reached he has also reached to this position. Shishil Goyal ji, my elder brother in the Central Council. और हमारी सेंट्रल काउंसिल की एक खासियत है कोई भी किसी को मना नहीं करता. हमारे इनॉग्रल फंक्शन में राजेंद्र कुमार जी आए थे जो कि चेयरमैन है जीएसटी कमेटी के, सुशील भाई वाइस चेयरमैन है जीएसटी कमेटी के, उसके अलावा बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज के भी जीएसटी काउंसिल में भी रहे हैं. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आरएम जौहरी जी से मैं जब से मिला, हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट का फंक्शन था, मैं तो स्टेज पे ही मुलाकात हुई और जब देखा श्रीराम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स के हैं तो बस फिर तो साथ छोड़ने का कोई मतलब ही नहीं था. और उसके बाद कितने बार इनके ऑफिस गया. एंड जौहरी साहब को श्रीराम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स ने डिस्टिंग्विश एलिमनस अवार्ड दिया है जो कि एक बहुत बड़ी बात है. श्रीराम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स किसी को अवार्ड दे और यहाँ तो दो अवार्ड ही बैठे हैं, डॉक्टर एसपी अग्रवाल एंड जौहरी साहब, जिनको श्रीराम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स ने ये डिस्टिंग्विश एलिमनस अवार्ड दिया. इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में मैं कहूँ तो कल ही हमारी इंडियन अकाउंटिंग एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट के साथ मीटिंग थी जिसमें डॉक्टर जेएल गुप्ता भी थे नेशनल लेवल के. एंड उनको ये लग रहा था अरे मतलब वो तो रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं आईसीआई की ब्रांचेस को फैकल्टी के लिए, और यहाँ हमने इतनी स्टार फैकल्टी बुला के रखी है इनॉग्रल सेशन में. तो अपने जो आईपैक है, इंटरनेशनल फेडरेशन ऑफ अकाउंटेंट के एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर मिस्टर रसल गदरी थे. तो ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड की जितनी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट एसोसिएशन है वो सबकी पेरेंट बॉडी है आईफैक, और आईफैक के एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में आए, और फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा हुआ कि ICAI के अलावा वो किसी और प्रोग्राम में इंडिया में आए। जो अगर 7 डेज की फैकल्टी देखूं तो डॉक्टर गिरीश आहूजा, जिनका कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं है आज इनकम टैक्स के फील्ड में, डॉक्टर रवि गुप्ता जो कि वेल्थ टैक्स और अब तो टैक्स प्लानिंग में कहूंगा, और जिस तरह से उन्होंने पढ़ाया, विजय अय्यर जी जो पार्टनर हैं EY के, और ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग में मतलब अगर आज एक नाम बोलना हो इंडिया में तो ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग में विजय अय्यर जी का ही नाम बोला जाएगा सबसे पहले। प्रदीप डिनोडिया जी किसी सेशन में जाते नहीं है। मैं पिछली बार इलेक्शन में उनके यहाँ गया था और उनकी ब्लेसिंग तब से हर बार मिली, तो प्रदीप डिनोडिया जी ने कहा मैं आऊंगा। पहले तो उनके ब्रदर ने भी बोला था, संदीप डिनोडिया जी ने, कि प्रदीप जी 2 घंटे नहीं बोलते हैं। मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, रिक्वेस्ट करके देखते हैं। और प्रदीप जी ने 2 घंटे जो समा बांधा वो अमेजिंग था। इसी तरह से राहुल गुप्ता जो कि इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन एक्सपर्ट है, उन्होंने सेशन लिया, प्राइस वाटर हाउस के पार्टनर है, उन्होंने फॉरेन रेमिटेंसेस पे लिया। अशोक बत्रा जी जो कि आज GST में माइलस्टोन है आज अपने आप में, GST में उनसे बड़े प्रैक्टिशनर, मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा GST में ऐसी कोई रैंकिंग नहीं है, लक्ष्मी कुमारन भी है हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट के प्रेसिडेंट, और हमारे अपने इंडियन अकाउंटिंग एसोसिएशन के मेंबर CA अतुल गुप्ता जी हैं, राजेंद्र कुमार जी हैं, सुशील भाई हैं, बट बहुत बड़ा नाम आज अशोक बत्रा सर है। उन्होंने इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट पे सेशन लिया। आदित्य अग्रवाल जो कि हमारे यंगेस्ट स्पीकर थे, रिवर्स चार्ज इन एडवांस रूलिंग अंडर GST पे बोला। आंचल कपूर, अगेन अ वेरी वेरी फेमस नेम इन द नॉर्दर्न इंडिया, particularly in Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi. She spoke on GST audit, GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C. Then Amit Buddhi Raja is again my school friend. So Sachin, Amit, and we were in the same class in 11th and 12th in Swatantr Bharat Middle School. And Amit has also come of long age. And he took a session on monthly return in GST, job work, TDS, and TCS. विमल जैन जी के पढ़ाने का जो स्टाइल था, वो हर पार्टिसिपेंट का तो वो नाम ले रहे थे। अच्छा आपने ये आंसर दिया, आपने ये आंसर दिया, अब आप ये बताइए। तो वो सेशन भी जो था बिल्कुल इस तरह का सेशन मेथोडोलॉजी से पढ़ाना बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है। प्रशांत रायजादा जी जो मेरे साथ पार्टनर है मेरी फर्म में, उन्होंने मूवर एंड एईओ स्कीम पे सेशन लिया। और कुसुम गांधी जी जो इंडस्ट्री से है, इंडिया इंसेक्टिसाइड लिमिटेड में है, शी टॉट अबाउट असेसमेंट्स अंडर GST. So an amazing combination of faculty and an amazing audience. मेरे हिसाब से तो इसमें ये ऐसा प्रोग्राम था जो बार बार रिपीट नहीं किया जा सकता। हमारी इंडियस की फैकल्टी भी और ये फैकल्टी भी, इनको आप बार बार नहीं बुला सकते। इनफैक्ट एंड्रयू रेक्टलिफ जो कि इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ऑफ इंग्लैंड एंड वेल्स के पास प्रेसिडेंट है, वो भी आना चाहते थे, बट लास्ट मिनट में कुछ टाइमिंग का भी और कुछ, लंदन is also now going for another lockdown. There were some constraints, so finally he was not able to join. Otherwise, Andrew Rectaliff has also sent his best wishes for the program. So such has been the aura of, I will say, Dr. JL Gupta and Dr. SP Agarwal, कि हम जो सोचते हैं फॉर्चुनेटली वो हो जाता है। और जो डॉक्टर रेखा दयाल ने कहा, इलेक्शन तो मैंने नहीं जीता, आप सबने जीता है। आप सभी ने, वो आप सब कैंडिडेट थे, मैं नहीं था। वो इतना अफेक्शन मिला कि हमें हाईएस्ट एवर वोट्स किसी भी बिग 4 कैंडिडेट वाले को मिले। नेक्स्ट ईयर दोबारा से इलेक्शन एंड विल ट्राई टू रिपीट इट। एंड डॉक्टर JL गुप्ता तो इलेक्शन के मास्टर, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। So with this, I would with this overview, I would like to hand it over back to Dr. Rekha Dayal to take the proceedings further. Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure having all of you participants in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sandeep Sehgal. I think बहुत ही सरल और उसके अंदर आपने जो इतना बढ़िया से ओवरव्यू दिया है, एंड the resource persons and everybody, I think it was wonderful listening to you, and I'm sure for the participants it must have been going back on the lectures that they had heard from all these masters. Thank you once again for being the force behind all these programs that have been conducted in the past 3 months, I would say. Now I would request our core team member, Dr. Anjali Gupta, Assistant Professor at Atmaram Sanatan Dharm College, Joint Secretary, Indian Accounting Association, NCR Chapter, to call upon the participants for their feedback. Before I do so, I think it becomes my moral duty to inform gathering about Dr. Anjali Gupta's functioning. Last 3-4 days, she has been very unwell, and despite that, every email, every work that had to be done through her, she made sure that it was done meticulously along with the rest of her team. We are very happy to say that Anjali, you are not only the backbone, you are an asset to our organization, and the kind of work that you have been doing in the past few years, I'm sure it's a long way to go, and the kind of organizing ability that you have always reflected in your work ethics, it's worth admiring. Thank you so much for every little job that you have handled so beautifully. Now I would request Anjali to get the feedback from the participants. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries present here. And thank you, ma'am, for such wonderful words. Today, the journey of 7 days learning together for the different issues and perspectives associated with direct taxes and GST has come to an end. We as organizing team are taking with us a lot of appreciation from all the participants of the program. Due to paucity of time, we cannot share each and every review, and we have requested some participants to share their experiences about the certificate course, and we are grateful to all of them for coming forward and accepting our request. I request Dr. Sonal Babbar from Maitre College, University of Delhi to share her experience.
A very good afternoon to all of you. This faculty development program on direct taxes and GST, organized by Indian Accounting Association, NCR chapter, and Ramanujan College, University of Delhi, has provided a platform to scholars and teachers like us to multiply our knowledge and to have active learning from the comfortable environment of our homes. So, being a teacher of income tax, I understand that it is our responsibility to keep upgrading our knowledge, and FDP of this nature provides a bridge to fill that gap. So, I sincerely applaud the efforts made by the organizing team and arranging an FDP on such dynamic and contemporary area of taxes, not only covering the direct taxes, but also covering the indirect taxes to a large extent. I also extend my deep gratitude to my teachers of yesteryears, CA Dr. Girish Ahuja sir and Dr. Ravi Gupta sir, they being the ardent orators and devoted teachers. In fact, sir, attending your lectures during this FDP made me nostalgic and reminded me of my, golden college days when we used to sit and listen to you for long hours. Sir, I must mention that same zeal is still vibrant in both of you. Thank you, sirs. Candidly speaking, I liked the presentations made by CA Bimal Jain on GST, CA Nitin Vaid on foreign remittances, CA Anchal Kapoor on GSTR, CA Vijay Sitaram Iyer on transfer pricing, and CA Pradeep on case laws and Hindu undivided family. These wonderful presenters have mesmerized us by their knowledge and by their intellect. They are truly the storehouse of knowledge. I sincerely look forward to more such sessions and deeply thank once again all the resource persons and the organizing team for conducting such a wonderful FTP. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sonal. Thanks a lot for such nice words. And really, this FDP has really been even going back in our student days for me also, listening to Girish Ahuja sir and Dr. Ravi Gupta sir was really equally nostalgic for me too. Thank you so much.
Agreed. Yeah,
now,
thank you.
I request Mr. Pranay Raj from Uttar Pradesh Technical University to share his thoughts.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Pranay sir, you are audible, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you present here. my experience, and you can say that I'm not having so much of experience to what kind of experience you are having. And sir, one more thing I want to say that आप लोग का जितना तजुर्बा है उतना मेरा उम्र नहीं है कि मैं बोल सकूं कि कौन सही कौन गलत, क्या सही था और क्या गलत था. बट आई विल से ओनली वन थिंग विच आई हैव सीन. मैंने जो देखा है अभी तक, अभी जो हमारे यहाँ आते हैं लोग जो पढ़ाई के माध्यम से मैंने जो देखा है, मैं चाहता हूँ शेयर करना इस अभी ये जो प्रोग्राम हुआ था इसके रिगार्डिंग. सर, एक बहुत अच्छा थॉट है जो हम लोग सब जानते हैं, जो रेखा दयाल मैम ने एक जो सरस्वती बनना स्टार्ट किया था उससे थोड़ा सा रिलेटेड है. सर, एक हम लोग को सिखाया जाता है यदा ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तस्य वितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. ये हम लोग को बचपन में रटाया जाता है सर. आज भी हम देखते हैं कि पढ़ाई के माध्यम में लोग यही करते हैं, रटते हैं, बोलते हैं और समझते हैं कि हाँ हम लोग ने वो समझ लिया. लेकिन उसका जो हिंदी वर्जन होता है, जो प्योर कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, उसके नीचे है क्या, वो वर्ड है क्या, वो नहीं मालूम, किसी को नहीं मालूम रहता है. बस एक ट्रैफिक की तरह हम लोग चलते हैं, अब डिलीवर करते हैं और वापस आ जाते हैं, पढ़ाई में हो या किसी भी चीज में हो. बिकॉज वी वांट जॉब, वी वांट कि मैंने अपना 100% डिलीवर कर दिया, अपना नॉलेज डिलीवर कर दिया, सामने नहीं समझ में आए, दैट इज अनदर थिंग. तो उसका जो मीनिंग होता है, उस प्राण स्वरूप दुख नाशक, सुख स्वरूप तेज रसी पाप नाशक, देश स्वरूप परमात्मा को हम अंतरात्मा से धारण करें, ये जो मीनिंग है सर, ये जो मीनिंग है, ये कहीं डिलीवर नहीं होता है सर. ये मीनिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है जो डिलीवर नहीं होता है. बिकॉज हम लोग सब बस लेक्चर्स सुनते हैं. That's it. We are putting it on the paper and we are getting the marks. We are pouring the knowledge to other persons, all the other students. तो हम बहुत थैंकफुल हैं, सर ये रामानुज कॉलेज जिन्होंने ये प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट किया है. जितने फैकल्टी मेंबर्स यहाँ थे, लाइक फॉर डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, गुड एंड सर्विस टैक्सेस एंड एडवाइजरी काउंसिल के जितने भी लोग थे, आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू ऑल सर कि मुझे ये मौका मिला कि मैं अपना एक्सप्रेस कर सकूं कि हाउ मच आई हैव गेन द नॉलेज फ्रॉम यू ऑल द फैकल्टी मेंबर्स. ये जेम्स है जो हम लोग को, आई डोंट थिंक आई वन मोर पर्सन, हिज नेम इज गिरीश आहूजा सर. सर, इतना नॉलेजेबल पर्सन लोग हैं हम लोग को. तो सर, अगर उनके लिए पूरा 7 days ही मिल जाता ईच एंड एवरी फैकल्टी मेंबर्स की, तो हम लोग के लिए बहुत कम था कि हम लोग बता सके कि हम लोग कितना गेन कर रहे हैं आप लोग सबसे. तो आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू ऑल द फैकल्टी मेंबर्स कि हम लोग ने ये चीज अटेंड किया है. इवन इफ आई विल गेट अ सर्टिफिकेशन और नॉट, इज some different thing, but the knowledge which we have gained from all yours, I'm very grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranay sir. It is just because of the mentors that we have of the faculty development program that has ensured that we get such quality of the resource persons that were there in this particular FTC. And thank you for your nice words. Now, may I
Thank you so
request Mr. Sumit Bansal, Assistant Professor, DCAC, University of Delhi, who wishes to share his thoughts regarding the FTC.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Sumit, you're audible and visible.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, I would like to congratulate and thank Sri Agarwal, Principal of Ramanathan College, Rekha Dayal ma'am, and J.L. Gupta sir for organizing such a wonderful FGP. I have been working in the university for last 3 years as guest faculty as well as host faculty, and it was my first time to attend to participation of any FDP of this kind of FDP, and I found this FDP is one of the one of the things which I gained a lot of knowledge from. Because I have been taking income tax for the last 3 years, and especially to be very frank, the lecture delivered by Girish Ahuja sir. He is such an amazing personality, and the things which I learned from his lecture, the way he uses Hindi-English language combination to make things understandable in a most easiest way, that actually helped me a lot to deliver when I was teaching myself in the PGCP part. So they actually got the very clear ideas, and I got everything from that lecture only. And I really request the Ramanathan College, the principal, Sir S.P. Agarwal to organize such great FDP on direct taxes in GST in near future also. I'm looking forward to join any type of FDP on income tax.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sumit. May I now request CA Sandeep Pathak sir, practicing chartered accountant, to put forth his views. Sir, you're not audible, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, sir, you're audible now, sir. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm not a practicing chartered accountant. Actually, I'm working in industry.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to all the organizers and co-organizers for organizing such a beautiful program, such an excellent program. Here we got benefit from all different speakers on variety of topics. Hello. So it was. It was a nice series of programs. Not only this one, the earlier one also, which I could attend. And if I may say that, though I'm a chartered accountant, I was working in a different profile. I was looking for some refresher programs to update the knowledge. And it was like, a variety of topics served in the comfort of home from excellent speakers. It was a rare opportunity where we got this. And I would personally thank Dr. Girish Ahuja also and all the other speakers. It was like a milestone for a person like me, because in my college life or my student time, I couldn't get any opportunity of hearing directly from Girish Ahuja sir. But through this platform, I'm really obliged to all the organizers for giving such a platform to us, to people like us who got this opportunity to hear directly from the industry stalwarts and people like Dr. Girish Ahuja and others. So it's a really appreciable program. And I'm also looking forward, maybe some other programs also on other contemporary topics in future. If organized, we would be really lucky to attend those programs as well.
Thank you, sir, for such kind words. I just request, is Dr. Vandana Yadav ma'am has joined? Ma'am had agreed to share her views. She's from Jayanarayan Vyas University, Jodhpur. Ma'am, if you're there, can you please raise your hand? I think there is some network issue because of which ma'am is not able to join. Yeah. So with this, we come to the end of the reviews or the views of the participants. There was a request from Mr. Altaf Malik sir from HD Jain College, Agra, Bihar, to allow to share his views, but I'm not able to even connect him to it. So my apologies to him, sir, that, yeah, he has raised his hand. I'll just ask him I'll allow him to talk.
So yeah.
Altaf sir, you can talk.
अपना वीडियो को ऑफ करना है इसमें कैसे?
Altaf sir,
Zoom.
Yeah, you can talk, sir.
Hello. Boli, yes, go ahead.
Altaf sir, please.
Hello.
Yeah, sir, you are audible, sir. Altaf sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, to the distinguished panel. सभी को मेरा नमस्कार.
Sir, आप अपना वीडियो भी ऑन कर सकते हैं, sir. If you want to do it. Yes.
Yes, madam. Yes. बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था मैडम हम लोगों का. यहाँ हम लोग छोटे शहरों से आते हैं और मेरे लिए तो बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था क्योंकि मैं फिजिकली हैंडीकैप हूँ और व्हील चेयर बाउंड हूँ. तो जो इनको हम पूजा करते रहे हैं, गिरीश आहूजा सर हों, IM पांडे सर और JL गुप्ता सर हो, जिनको हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है सिंस द वेरी बिगनिंग, तो उनको सुनना, उनसे समझना, चीजों के कॉन्सेप्ट को क्लियर करना बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था. और मैंने जैसे बताया मेरी फिजिकल कंडीशन है तो मेरे लिए इससे बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं हो सकती थी. तो थैंक यू रामानुजन कॉलेज एंड इन द एंटायर TLC team for organizing such a nice faculty development program. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Altaf sir, for such nice words. When we get compliments from you all, really, it just makes it worth it for all the efforts, sir, that we put on in such certificate courses and faculty development programs. Thank you to all others also for sharing your views, and really all your views are of utmost importance, and it helps us to excel better in our next programs that always come forth. Now I request CA Dr. Sanjeev sir to please take over the proceedings.
Thank you, Dr. Anjali. I saw that Sachin has joined. He's
Yes.
off the screen now. Are you there, Sachin?
Yeah, Sanjeev, I can listen you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We are not able to see you, Sachin.
I'm just doing that. Yeah. I
You're
think
in office?
no, I'm not in office today.
Okay, the background look to be that of
Is it
office.
visible now?
No, it's not visible.
Is it now visible?
No.
No. Yes,
Yeah,
now it's
now it is visible. I've not seen this room of your house, Sachin. I've seen other rooms, but not this one. That's why. So, friends, it is a pleasure to introduce my childhood friend, Sachin. I know him since 1989. He joined Swatandra Bharat Middle School in 11th standard. I was studying there since 6th standard. और सचिन के साथ ही लाइफ की जर्नी जो है श्रीराम कॉलेज में भी साथ गई. हम लोग दो ही थे एसबीएम से जिनको श्रीराम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स में एडमिशन मिला. सचिन आई सेक्शन में था, मैं सी सेक्शन में था. देन सचिन चोज टू बी इन द सिविल सर्विसेज. ये अपनी आईआरएस की तैयारी में लगे और मेरा चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी का मन था. एंड विद द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड बोथ हैव बीन सक्सेसफुल इन आवर एंडेवर्स. कोई फील्ड सचिन ने ऐसा नहीं था जो छोड़ा ना हो. कंपनी सेक्रेटरी भी है, आईसीडब्ल्यू भी है. हमें था शायद सीए तो छोड़ देंगे, तो सीए इंटरमीडिएट तक तो उन्होंने वहां इंटरमीडिएट तक के पेपर दिए और इंटरमीडिएट में रैंक आई और उसके बाद फाइनल के पेपर दिए. तो मैंने तो काफी बार कहा यार फाइनल के पेपर भी दे दे, बट इसने कहा नहीं ठीक है, कुछ तुम लोगों के लिए भी छोड़ देते हैं. सचिन का सिविल सर्विसेज का भी जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, इसने कानपुर में एक्साइज में काम किया, उसके बाद डीआरआई में काम किया. देन ही वाज पोस्टेड इन इलाहाबाद ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम एज एन एडिशनल कमिश्नर जीएसटी. And I was interacting with him every now and then. He used to travel on weekends. So at such difficult time, also the call of duty was the foremost. और इसका इससे बड़ा क्या एग्जाम्पल होगा कि मतलब आज सचिन आज इफ ही इज एबल टू जॉइन अस, आई नो दैट के घर में कोविड है एंड उसके बाद ही इज एबल टू जॉइन अस. दैट रियली स्पीक्स वेरी हाई ऑफ हिम. Currently, Sachin is the Deputy Director General in the Narcotics Control Bureau under the Ministry of Home Affairs in the level 14 deputation basis for a period of 5 years. And as I said, besides BCom honors from the prestigious Shriram College of Commerce, मैं तो देख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे श्रीराम कॉलेज की मेजॉरिटी है. डॉक्टर जेएल गुप्ता, डॉक्टर एसपी अग्रवाल, जौहरी साहब, सचिन एंड माई सेल्फ. At least I know, and Dr. Ayap Pandey, Dr. Rekha Dayal, wow, Dr. Rekha Dayal as well, all from Shriram College of Commerce. And then he's a cost accountant. He's a law graduate also, and he's been promoted to the rank of commissioner in November 2019. As I said, his last work as a commissioner GST in Allahabad before being promoted to the present post in August 2020. Now also he is handling some very high profile cases, which I cannot name for the sake of confidentiality. But Sachin, you've been an amazing friend. 3 decades, if I really see how they have passed, it also probably reminds us of our age also. But they're truly wonderful. And thank you so much for taking out time. And I would request you, to speak whatever you want to speak, because I know that you have contributed in the GST. When this law was being made, he has actively contributed. He has been a member of the TRU also, Tax Research Unit. So कोई intellectual काम जब मिलता है डिपार्टमेंट में तो वो इसको दे दिया जाता है. So Sachin, you would like to say something about your journey or about GST, please feel free to do so. Over to you, Sachin.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thanks a lot for such kind word. I mean, hearing from you, we are friends for last like 30 odd years. So first of all, respected Jauhari sir and our dear senior professor, rather Pandey sir, we have read from his books. We have read from although I have not got the opportunity to be in person or as a face-to-face student of Pandey sir, but his book is always a kind of encyclopedia. and all respected senior colleagues from Shri Ram College. I have just, as Sanjeev have just mentioned, there are many of us from Shri Ram College. So Sanjeev, and first of all, I'm really thankful for inviting me, grateful to the college and other alumni of the college for inviting me to this occasion. We were not that lucky to get the opportunity to have such kind of sessions with such luminary of the financial and tax field. So I'll just say that all those who are basically participating in this course, they are really lucky that they got the opportunity to have interactions with such luminary of this field. So, but nonetheless, it is very good that के आप सभी लोगों को ये जो मौका मिला, आपने इसको पूरा फायदा उठाया इसका. As Sanjeev was just mentioning about our journey, it was basically 30 years old journey, Sanjeev and me together. And Sanjeev, age is only a matter of mind, state of mind. I think we have not aged, I will say. So
you're both young.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I got the opportunity to go through that prestigious college. I think probably because of that college and because of my friends in college and my seniors and my professors in college, that I've developed that kind of critical analytical mindset जो कि मुझको help किया जब भी कोई डिपार्टमेंट के अंदर जरूरत रहा इस तरीके का इंटेलेक्चुअल वर्क का, तो मुझको मतलब अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला उसमें अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन करने की. एज एक्चुअली मेरा जो ज्वाइनिंग है 99 में मैंने ज्वाइन किया, एंड कुछ जर्नी तो संजीव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुका है. ही हैज नॉट लेफ्ट एनीथिंग फॉर मी टू शेयर, but yes, I was basically one of the pioneer member from the central government side to work on GST. So we had gone through different GST regimes across the world. We have seen UK VAT, we have seen Canada VAT, we have seen Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, and we have seen even Brazil also. So that what should we not adopt? Like Brazil was a system that was basically decided that we should not adopt that kind of system. And we gave our first report, giving the concept paper on GST, and that concept paper became the first, and I would say the foundation for further developing the GST in this country. I don't know, I can take whether it is a good law or bad law, the time will say, but yeah, I can take pride as well as I am ready to take the blame also if there are some inconsistency in that. But yes, so then after that, I was basically part of that high-powered committee which was participating in the drafting of this law. There are some initial teething troubles that we have faced. आप सभी लोगों तो आप लोग तो practice कर रहे हैं, जो लोग भी इस field में practice कर रहे हैं, तो they are knowing that there are some issues, there are some difficult areas, there are some gaps, there are some loopholes. Definitely, I presume that these loopholes will be filled in the due course of time. But we have traveled this far. We have migrated from the earlier system to GST, I would say it in a much more comfortable way vis-a-vis other countries have wherever it has been adopted. डॉक्टर JL गुप्ता सर से काफी इंटरेक्शन हुआ इस दौरान. संजीव तो एज ए ओल्ड फ्रेंड, जौहरी सर से मेरा इंटरेक्शन नहीं है, बट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आई एम getting the opportunity to see him and interact.
I'll give you my frank opinion on GST. Yes,
sir, actually, the frank opinion is definitely required, sir.
We appreciate the frankness.
And Johari sir, he is basically a master. He is the professor or the master of. We used to basically, I mean, not only we were I was basically a first hand student of Johari sir, but हम लोग तो उनको एक तरीके से पूछते थे कि जौहरी सर हैं तो फिर मतलब उस टॉपिक के बारे में जिसने उस जौहरी सर से वो टॉपिक पढ़ लिया तो फिर उसके बाद उसको लाइफ लॉन्ग कभी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती थी उसके लिए. So, but yeah, of course, it is a wonderful journey. I wish that कि इस तरीके के सेशंस हम लोग और करें, and उन सेशंस में मैं as a speaker, as a faculty, or as a whatever way I can contribute, I would like to do that. Whatever ideas, whatever question answer sessions I would like to take. I mean, if there are some opportunities to take that, I would like to take those as well. संजीव, एक चीज जस्ट जो मैं देख रहा था, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा मैं इस सेशन को वो नहीं कर पाया, बट जैसे हम लोग अलग अलग कॉर्नर में अलग अलग वहां पर पहुंचे हैं, और वो लोग जिन लोगों ने सिर्फ इस तरीके की फैकल्टी के बारे में सिर्फ सुना ही होगा या बुक्स उनकी पढ़ी होंगी, उन लोगों को जो मौका मिल रहा है, I think that is a great feat, that is a great achievement that this college has done. I hope that this journey shall continue in future, and I would be happy to part of this journey of this college in future as well. Anytime if I can be of any help, please feel free to approach me. अभी मैंने ज्वाइन किया है एनसीबी में. इट इज बेसिकली डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फ्रॉम जीएसटी टू कस्टम्स टू डीआरआई टू नाउ एनसीबी. एनसीबी इज टिपिकली a police organization, but I'm basically adding the financial investigation bit, which was basically a kind of missing part of that puzzle जो कि हम लोग एनसीबी में फेस कर रहे थे. तो उस एंगल को मैंने थोड़ा सा टाइटन करने की कोशिश की. आई होप दैट आई विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन दैट. And I will be definitely seeking help of my colleagues or my seniors, my professors, if we can train our staff in NCB also to do a better financial investigation. Sanjeev, these kind of your firm or other firm can also be roped in for that. We'll definitely try it for this endeavor as well. I'm again very really thankful from the bottom of my heart that you have given me this opportunity, and I will be happy to be there forever. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin. And as far as the support is concerned, 100%. I mean, whatever support, training support you need, we'll be more than happy to provide. And as far as taking you as a speaker, again, we'll be very, very happy. But we are conscious of, the demand of your job, actually. So to the extent, I mean, you have time, we'll be very glad to have you. Thank you so much, Sachin.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wish you also a very happy Diwali. And because of COVID, we'll not be able to meet this time. We'll be missing that. Friends, now, thank you so much. Now it's a pleasure to introduce my council colleague, Sushil Goyal ji. Sushil Goyal ji is the vice chairman of the GST committee of the ICAI, and of course, a vice chairman of the board of studies. He's a central council member from the eastern region. He's a chartered accountant of 1996 batch and has been the chairman of the EIRC, which is the Eastern Regional Council of the ICAI. His core specialization is service tax and GST. He's also authored a book on Service Tax Guide, Ready Reckoner, which is a part of the Central Council Library of ICAI. He's actively participated in the annual event, convocation, seminars held by ICAI throughout the country, and that is true for any CCM. 90%, at least 90% of the time of a council member goes for our beloved institute. But Sushil Bhai is very unassuming, very humble, very soft-spoken, always available. मैंने पूछा सुशील भाई इस प्रोग्राम में आ सकते, उन्होंने कहा सकने का क्या है, जब आपने बोल दिया तो आना ही है. So it's really nice on him. His chairman and now he both have been present in this program. He's given valuable inputs through newsletters and articles such as new valuation and reimbursement rules in the service tax and the GST. And, even in the board of studies, The Board of Studies is doing a wonderful job under his leadership. For the first time, we have been able to address the issue of the coaching classes of the students. This time, the Board of Studies has taken a very bold step and offered all the classes to the CA students free of cost in virtual mode. We are incurring a huge expenditure, but we have made sure that during the COVID, the student education does not suffer. And there have been more than 50 lakh hits on these coaching classes. So it's really a dream come true that in every nook and corner of our country, the CA students are able to take the benefit of the coaching classes from the experts. Sushil Bhai has also been a branch statutory auditor of the New India Assurance and also of the National India Assurance. So Sushil Bhai, thank you very much for taking out time, and I would request you to enlighten the participants with your words of wisdom. Thank you very much, and over to you.
Thank you, Sanjeev Bhai. I call him Sanjeev Bhai, but very senior in profession, I can say at least. Sanjeev Bhai was saying, बोल रहे थे कि सुशील भाई ने बोला कि आना ही है. सच पूछें, अगर मुझे जो एलुमनीज यहाँ प्रेजेंट है उसमें मुझे आने का मौका मिला, यही मेरे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है. संजीव भाई, आपको शायद पता नहीं है, बाकी लोग भी नहीं जानते हो कि मैं बहुत छोटी सी जगह है आसाम में, तिनसुकिया बोल के जगह है, जो करीब दिल्ली से बात करें तो 3000 किलोमीटर से दूर है. तो वहाँ पे कोई साधन नहीं थे. वहाँ से हूँ, बिलोंग करता हूँ. कभी सपना भी नहीं था कि सेंट्रल काउंसिल पहुँच पाएंगे, लेकिन सबका प्यार था तो पहुँच गए. अब सबका प्यार था तो इतनी बड़ी एलुमनीज के बीच बैठा हूँ आज. तो ये आप ही का वो सौभाग्य है, आप ही ने सौभाग्य मुझे दिलवाया है. सबसे पहले मैं जौहरी साहब को नमस्कार करना चाहूँगा, चीफ गेस्ट इन टुडेज प्रोग्राम. एंड सचिन जी, रियली आई एम बिलोंग टू द फील्ड ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स for last 22 years. I was still doing service tax, and last 5 years in GST. So really happy to see you that you are doing so much things for the government and taking new initiatives also. That is really good learning for me. JL Gupta, Dr. JL Gupta sir, SP Sumat Agarwal ji, principal of the college, Rekha Dayal ji, and Dr. Anjali Gupta, and senior IM Pandey ji. All the I never thought of going to Sri Ram College. If you ask me what a student you are, I was a middle class student, never got 50% mark in my life before joining the CA. So, but somehow things were changed when I joined CA, and somehow delivered good things, now delivering also. So it is really indeed a pleasure. I really thankful to the entire organization for organizing such faculty development program. It not only give the boost up to the faculties, it also tell them what is going on in different areas which they are not serving presently, and what new things are happening. And we, संजीव जी ने एक से एक देश के बड़े से बड़े स्पीकर को बुलाया. बिमल जैन जी थे, अशोक बत्रा साहब थे, आहूजा जी जिनको तो हम जब भी देखते हैं तो पहले पाँव छूते हैं, गुरुजी बोलते हैं हमेशा, उनके सामने तो बैठने का साहस नहीं करते. तो ऐसी ऐसी फैकल्टी बुलाई संजीव जी ने, और जैसी फीडबैक दिया लोगों ने, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम रहा. और मेरा ये सौभाग्य है कि मैं ऐसे प्रोग्राम का पार्ट बन पाया, और सभी को आशा करता हूँ कि इस टाइप के प्रोग्राम कंटिन्यूस होते रहने चाहिए, ताकि लर्निंग का कोई एंड नहीं होता. हम सबको लर्निंग की आवश्यकता है, उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हमें रेगुलर लर्निंग प्रोग्राम करते रहें, इसी आशा के साथ. धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, Sushil Bhai. So as I said, Sushil Bhai is so soft spoken and humble. एक credit देना जानते हैं, लेना नहीं जानते. Thank you so much, Sushil Bhai. And back to you, Dr. Rekha Dayal, for further proceedings.
Unmute करो.
Dr. Rekha Dayal, you are on mute. Kindly unmute.
Hello, Rekha.
Dr. JL Gupta, sir, would you like to take it forward? I think the screen has frozen for Dr. Rekha Dayal. Yeah, Dr. Anjali Gupta.
Yes, sir. Sir, now I request Professor I.M. Pandey, sir, to share his views regarding the activities.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here in the great people. Well, I was in Ahmedabad for more than 25 years and came to Delhi. Of course, it's now 8 years in Delhi. And I had lost touch with some of my friends. Of course, Girish Ahuja or Dr. J.L. Gupta, these two gentlemen I know for more than 50 years. Dr. Gupta was my senior by 1 year. Girish Ahuja was my senior in postgraduate, but my junior as a lecturer in Sri Ram College. So, because he wasted, I tell him that you wasted your 2 years in doing chartered accountancy course. Of course, he's such a great person, such a great authority on taxation that everyone in this country knows him. Girish Ahuja, of course, when I was in Ahmedabad, I used to visit Delhi. And then every time, whenever I would come, I'll call him and then we will go to some restaurant, mostly in India International Center, have a cup of coffee or tea there. So he would say, what are you teaching? I said, look, I teach financial management. And he will ask me, do you know all about taxation? I said, no. Then he said, what finance do you teach? Finance is taxation. I used to tell him that, look, finance is much more than taxation. He said, no, if you save 30%, that's profit to the company. So that's what he used to tell me. But late in my life, when I was in Ahmedabad, I joined some 6-7 companies as a board director. And I realized that there also I realized the same thing, which I thought. Because whenever they were making presentations, the finance director or general manager finance, they were focusing more on finance, which we call as cash. And then they said, yes, tax we have taken care of. I don't know how they were taking care of taxation. So if you ask me, tax, I don't know. I only know as a taxpayer, I've been paying taxes. And of course, I get into problem there, even there. Because the tax now, of course, it's the machine which you have to face, and machine doesn't understand many things. Now, my royalty, which I show as outstanding, they always put tax on that, and then I go and present, and then they say, okay, because what these people are doing or machine is doing is it's simply taking into account AS26 and computing taxes. And they said, look, more tax has been deducted or less has been deducted. So if I'm saying it's outstanding, I would receive my cash next year, and I've been paying tax on cash. No, it doesn't work with them. This time it didn't work with them. So they are asking me to pay 2 lakh rupees. So that's my tax experience, unfortunately, and nothing more than that. Now, of course, as a student, what I was taught and in postgraduate, in Sri Ram College, I was taught direct taxes only. We never had indirect taxes, as a matter of fact. In fact, when I came back to Delhi as this Dean of Faculty of Commerce and Business, then we changed the syllabus and then we introduced indirect taxes. Later, of course, we have GST. That time GST was not there. So that was 2012 or 13. But we did introduce indirect taxes. Otherwise, BCom honors, we were not teaching indirect taxes. So that's the story about taxes as far as I know. But in postgraduate, we had that great teacher, Dr. L.C. Gupta, and he taught us theory of taxation, in fact. And there were 2 big, thick books, Musgrave and Prest. Musgrave and Musgrave, again, tax. And interestingly, then he asked us to read a book, and we used to read those books those days. It was difficult because it was mathematics, although I knew mathematics, but still that mathematics sometimes was becoming difficult. Now, as a teacher, I must tell you a story that I hired a teacher to teach me higher mathematics, because higher secondary, we had lower mathematics, but I wanted to learn higher mathematics. So I think for 3 months, myself and B.S. Khanna, who is in USA now, of course, he was my senior by 2 years, and he's perhaps a contemporary of Girish Ahuja. But then, as I told you, as a teacher, he was junior to both of us. So then I hired, and for 4 months, we took that tuition. Those days, I'm talking about 1969, maybe many of you were not born that time, and we were paying him 200 rupees per month tuition fee. So that's how I learned mathematics. So Dr. Gupta taught us theory of taxation, but interestingly, he asked us to read book by Calder. Calder was an American, British, and he came to India, studied Indian system, and he suggested that India shouldn't have direct taxes, should have expenditure tax. We used to have such a great debate in those days, theoretical, but we were theoretical, and the practicing were perhaps a little different than what we thought it was. But teaching finance, I enjoyed a lot, of course, and that one I thought is both. It's theory and practice. Those who know finance and practice, because our students, of course, they are in top positions. I am Ahmedabad students everywhere. And many of them, of course, they are CEOs of many of these companies like Citibank and those kinds of things. They are using a lot of theories in practice, actually. And now when you talk about options, and if one of my students who teaches in Sri Ram College, he was my PhD student, and his student, he is, I think he's in taxation, IRS, and he's looking after international taxation. And he was telling me the difficulties in understanding the profits or losses which are made from options and futures, actually, because it's not taught. I'm not sure, even chartered accountant, I think in my personal opinion, of course, CA Institute may do whatever they want to do, is that along with this accounting, taxation, because their forte is accounting, taxation, auditing, I think they must perhaps teach higher level financial management, where there should be some kind of specialized papers there. So options and future, he was suspecting that these people show a lot of losses, and that loss is made up. And he was not able to understand what options and future. I said, I don't know your practice, but I can give you theoretical lessons on options and futures a little bit. And then he started, perhaps at his own, worked hard and started learning. So that's my story as a teacher. I have no idea of taxation. And GST, the way when I listen to the news and the views of the people, I think it's a labyrinth. It's very difficult. And perhaps even the place where I live, I'm in a different place today. And place where I live in Delhi, there are a lot of business people. It was a teacher's colony, and now it's only businessmen's, because everyone sold. And I also remember Professor R.P. Maheshwari, he was my teacher, of course. He used to teach us law. And when I used to ask him about tax, and he would say that, look, never earn money. Those days, you see, it was 94% marginal tax. I remember 1966, around that period when Indira Gandhi took over as Prime Minister, she brought it down to 66%. So from 94, that was the kind of taxation which we used to have. Of course, now direct tax, I think one of the last, second perhaps, is the revenue earning for the government of India. Unfortunately, it's a very less people who are paying taxes, direct taxes. That number is increasing. So he said that, look, one rupee if you earn, and then you have to pay naya paisa jamana tha, 6 paise you have to pay, you will retain, and 94 paise you have to pay as tax. Those were the days of taxation. So that's what I know about tax. But look, I must congratulate Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Sanjeev, Dr. J.L. Gupta, and all other members, Sachin and Mr. Goyal. All these people, I think they must be congratulated. And because they directly or indirectly helped in putting up this program. IIM Ahmedabad, of course, one of the fortes of IIM Ahmedabad is training, actually. We were training about some 20,000 executives every year. So I think we consider that as most important, because it's an amalgam of theory and practice now. We are from the faculty side and they are from the practicing side. And we would learn a lot from them and we will teach them a lot of those things which they didn't know, which they could bring in practice. So I think putting up these kinds of program is a real service to the community. And I was hearing these people, the feedback, for example, and when they were talking about the great people who taught them, of course, Girish Ahuja, Ghar ki murgi dal barabar for us. But then when I go everywhere, I hear a lot about Girish. And but he's a great professor. Even in Sri Ram College of Commerce, later on, after I left Sri, I taught there for 9 years, I think, or 10 years. And then Girish Ahuja, I was told, became much, much more famous there. And in our that hall, which had a capacity of 800 students, he would teach taxation there. Students from everywhere will flock into that room and listen. That was the case with Dr. C.V. Gupta when you used to teach management accounting, MCOM, not BCom, of course. And the same thing used to happen with Dr. C.V. Gupta. He was one of the best teachers of management accounting those days. So it's a good thing to be here because there are great people. And I would be listening Mr. Johri, C.A. Johri, for the first time. And maybe that I haven't seen these people. These are the great people now. And so thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Rekha, Dr. Anjali, Dr. Sanjeev, for putting up. About Sanjeev, I think he is very busy now. And he is one of the finest persons, very simple man, always prepared to help. When I took over as HOD of Finance Department, Delhi University, and they were teaching accounting course to MCOM. And I said, not MCOM, it was Masters in Financial Management. I said, look, what are you teaching? I was taught that in BCom Honors. I thought my BCom Honors was much, much better than the MCOM these days. I don't know why it has happened. So we used to read a lot of original books. Professor A.B. Ghosh, he will ask us to read Pigou, Marshall, and we used to do that actually in Delhi School of Economics. Now nobody reads those books. So, so that's how these things work there. Used to work in Delhi School of Economics, Department of Commerce. Those. So there they were teaching this course on accounting. I thought that what they were teaching the same thing which BCom Honors I had learned. So I asked Sanjeev, can we put together practitioners and to do a good job? And he really did that. A lot of people, his chartered accountants, friends, they used to fly from Bombay without charging anything. Delhi University would pay you 500 rupees per lecture. Now, of course, they have increased it to some 1200 or something. In IIM Ahmedabad, when I joined them December 80, we were paying 5,000 rupees those days. And they were paying 500 in 2012. So, but anyway, they didn't charge and taught this entire course. So thank you, Sanjeev. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. I don't think I could contribute anything in my talk except making some anecdotal references here and there. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Pandey. And I must profusely apologize for as the technology which becomes uncertain and unpredictable at times, that it made me literally invisible, like the H.G. Wells story. And it was great listening to you, Professor Pandey, sir. I have such fond memories of the Banaras trip that was undertaken when we were students and you were one of the young teachers along with Dr. Agrawal. And I think during that journey, we learned so much. Those were the days when actually Delhi School of Economics, we all learned from Musgrave and Samuelson's and Lipsey's and so on. You took us back on nostalgia, and it was very insightful, very, very enlightening. Thank you so much. Before I proceed to call our chief guest, I think because of the problem I had with technology, we could not introduce Professor Pandey, though he does not need any introduction. But it is my moral duty to at least inform the audience as to what journey Professor Pandey has undertaken, who's a noted academician and a scholar. He just superannuated as the Director General of BIPS Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies. He was earlier with the prestigious Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, where he not only taught for more than 25 years, but held more important assignments as the Director, Dean, Chairman of Doctoral Programs, and Chairman of Finance and Accounting area. Professor Pandey also held the position of Dean and Chair for School of Management, Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. Professor Pandey has been an integral part of University of Delhi. He started his career from here and later served as Dean Faculty of Commerce and Financial Studies, where he brought in a whole lot of reforms in the syllabus of BCom Honors, which Sir very humbly just referred to. I do remember in the financial studies and also as Dean Department of Commerce, sir, you were able to bring in quite a new set of ideas which I'm sure over a period of time in the last few years have blossomed into what is called as the learning for the new generation. Professor Pandey has taught in many universities across the world, and in his kitty, he has an array of publications where he has authored many books, guided many students. Sir, it was wonderful listening to you and going back into the journey of into your journey from Department of Commerce, Sri Ram College of Commerce, to IIM Ahmedabad, to Thailand, and back with us. We are sure that in near future also we will have the privilege of having more of your discourses for the students and all of us. Thank you for being part of us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a proud privilege now to call upon our chief guest, CA Shri R.M. Johri Saab, Director General, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, member NFRA. CM R.M. Johri ji joined the Indian Audit and Account Service in 1989, and not only is a cost accountant, a chartered accountant, but also a certified information system auditor and Controls Association Chicago, USA in 2000. He's also a certified internal auditor for Florida, which he accomplished in 2001, and many more such assignments that are part of, I think, his portfolio. Shri Johri has been through a long journey in the Accountant General's office from Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh to Delhi, and then also to the Ministry of Education, Government of Botswana. Working with the CAG office, he has had the audit team in various national and international assignments, particularly the UN bodies, UNDP, UNEP, UNICEF, WHO, and many others. Shri Johri Saab has also worked as a technical advisor to the International Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. Before he joined the present position, he was designated as Chief Information Officer of the CAG, the institution which he conceived, designed, implemented number of the IT projects in these departments. He developed 65 websites to make things lucid, clear, and transparent. His expertise lies in the energy accounting standards, in the emerging accounting standards, IPSAS, IFRS, governance, risk and control, e-governance, forensic audit, portfolio management, investment analysis, and many others. Shri Johri is also a member of many professional bodies, and he is an alum of IIM Lucknow. Sir, I think we are very honored to have you with us. And now I request you to please deliver your address to the participants.
First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. In fact, I do not know where to start because today some of the luminaries who have spoken earlier to me, I have been their student, you know. I am Pandey sir. I have attended a course in IIM Ahmedabad and had an opportunity of being a student to you, in which we talked about many things about telecom, which was an emerging sector at that point of time. In fact, you are a legend in your field, and there's a lot to learn. Not only the subject, but the manner it is delivered. Because perhaps certain things strike you the most when they are delivered in a particular manner. And we have always been a fan of you. Then about Dr. J.L. Gupta, well, everyone has said, and yes, age is only a number. It's not the biological age which matters. It is how active you are and how you are able to contribute in the present scenario. That's what is relevant, and it is commendable. About Girish Ahuja, sir, he taught us income tax. In fact, he's not here in this meeting, but I would recall the first lecture which I had in Shri Ram College. He started by saying that what all you know about taxation, because a person who just joins the Shri Ram College, I don't know, he has never paid taxes and he has never heard of it. And it's a new thing. So he said, well, I'll reorient my question and put it, what is the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion? And in fact, both words were quite new to us, and none of us could answer that what it relates to. Then he said, well, let me give you some hint. And he went further and said that tax avoidance is something on which the whole tax planning is involved, whereas tax evasion is something which is not allowed by law. You will be caught and punished. So that is something which was the basis of taxation, which we learned in Shri Ram College of Commerce. And in fact, sir was very forthright and could answer some of the practical questions of the people, in which we would have charged quite a bit of hefty fees if it was outside the classroom. I must admit that. So those were the days. But yes, we passed out in 1985, 35 years down the lane. And in fact, we have like sort of interacted with so many people. And in fact, I have all admiration for Sanjeev Singhal, for Dr. S.P. Agarwal, and in fact, Sachin Jain also, whom I heard today. And in fact, I will just share some of the thoughts in this long journey. You know, the first thing which I would like to make is that perhaps in the life, we belong to an age in which we have seen a lot of change. And the change has become it is coming with great amount of speed nowadays. But if you realize, say 30 years, if you analyze, change is the only constant. In the sense that if there is no change, then perhaps there is no life. But the way things have been changing of late in the last 6 to 7 years, meaning the changes at a mind-boggling speed, all these things which have happened in direct taxation or GST or anything. In fact, people who have not bothered to update themselves would have become obsolete by now. I must put it that way. So in fact, in this era of change, such programs on faculty development program, I think is welcome. It would be welcomed by everyone, because it is not only relevant for the new people, it is even relevant for the people who were who came earlier, and these changes have succeeded them. Then I would also make a point saying that learning is a lifelong experience. It's not that learning happens only through classroom or only through interaction. As you go along with the things changing in the surroundings, it happens. And every time you keep on learning, provided you're open, you're humble enough, you accept, see the things as they are, and try to see their relevance in the overall scenario. So this is which we have to keep in mind, that we will have to learn and keep on learning all the time. Then about the training. Well, the concept was training earlier, but now the concept from training has come to learning, which means that not only you should have the domain knowledge about the subject, but how that domain knowledge has to be applied in a real life scenario is also very relevant. Because if someone knows everything, all the principles, all the concepts, but he cannot apply it in a real life situation, then perhaps that learning is not of much use. So such interactive programs which happen through, say, e-learning processes in which there is a participation from the candidates, I think it is a learning not only for the people who are joining the program, it's a learning even for the people who are delivering the lectures. Because the practical problems which are put and the solutions which are given, it becomes a two-way process. So that way it is a great interacting with everyone. And then over a period of time, you realize you have gained so much of practical knowledge about the subject. So these things which I want to say, Sachin, I cannot see on the screen. If he's still there about the GST, I would like to share a few stories, maybe a minute or so, although we've already exceeded the time. Well, I will share my experience of doing CPA. In fact, when we were doing CA, each one of knows like we can complete it in 3 years' time, not earlier than that, because the final examination you cannot give unless your articleship is about to get completed. Whereas when I was doing CPA, I could do it in 3 months flat.
Yes.
And everyone said, well, how is it? CPA is ranked so much higher in the world. Then how could you do it in 3 months' time? Whereas CA, you took 3 years. I said, well, you may sound a bit arrogant saying that perhaps because your earlier knowledge helped or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that law has to be very simple. There are two aspects of the law which we should consider: the compliance part and the regulation part. So in fact, the compliance has to be so easy that a common man doesn't need guidance to comply with it, and it comes automatically. Whereas the regulation has to be so strong that someone who does not comply has to be caught and punished for not complying. But in fact, in the way we have been framing our laws over a period of time in India, the compliance is something which is very complicated, whether we have the direct taxes law or the GST law for that matter. For a common man or a small businessman or a trader, if you expect him to fill so much forms and have an idea of so many orders, have an idea of so many exemptions and clauses or what, perhaps we are expecting too much from him. The compliance should have been so easier that anyone who has done an ordinary graduation should be able to do. And in fact, there has to be an element of trust with the person who is going to comply. Somehow you get a feeling in these taxation laws that there is an element of mistrust with the person who is going to comply. And that is the reason you want to ensure that come what may, he will be caught, So if that thing is there, then the compliance becomes more difficult. In fact, my colleagues in income tax and IRS, throughout their life, they keep on monitoring the Income Tax Act. And in fact, even after 35 years of service, if I ask him that you know the inside out of the Income Tax Act, he'll say no. I say, why? He says, look, every section has got subsection. Subsection has got clauses. Clauses has got further. Then there are court decisions. Then on the same subject, even the court decisions are contradictory. Tell me, in a situation like that, a common man who has to comply, where does he go? So we have made the thing so complicated that it becomes very difficult for an honest and an ordinary citizen to comply with it. Whereas when it comes to regulation, we get a feeling as if some people are always above law and are not going to be caught whatever they may do. Whereas in US, like if we compare India and US, in India, the SSC base is 3%. In US, it is 44%. Whereas there, everyone complies. The tax collection is far higher. But then there is a certainty that if someone does not comply, he will be caught. And the way he will be punished, meaning it will be much worse than the cost of compliance. So perhaps whenever we make our laws, we will have to think in those terms, that law is not an end in itself, but a means to achieve an end. And when it is a means to achieve an end, then perhaps the ultimate end is revenue collection. So if you have a mechanism by which it works very nicely and results in greater collection, perhaps you have achieved your aim. So I feel that GST has to go a long run before we achieve that goal. But well, fine, it is a great effort. In fact, in a country with the size of India and with its diversity, it is very difficult to do anything which is uniform throughout the country. And to that extent, I think it has been a tremendous effort. But we should aim at make the laws more simple, compliance much easier, and the regulation at the same time has to be made tough so that we achieve the ultimate end. So perhaps that is, I thought I'll share with you as my concluding remarks, meaning you are free to hold your opinion, anyone for that matter. It's not a thumbs up or a criticism to anyone, but yes, it is the way we do things. And perhaps there is a lot to learn and a lot to go about it. And that's all I have to say. And about this particular conference, my congratulations to Sanjeev Singhal, who is the president of the Indian Accounting Association, and all the people who have contributed, even all the participants, because any conference of this size can only be a success when the participation also comes in a very positive and a very encouraging manner. Idea is that if we learn something, if we take it back home, then perhaps it's a success. So it's, although the alumni was very good and the responses which we have got are also very encouraging, I am sure that we'll continue with these efforts in future and we'll make our mark. One advice which I would have, because some of the things which would have been discussed are invaluable. Perhaps you should consider in terms of making videos of all the good lectures and sessions, and that can be put on the ICI website, where anyone who wants to learn or from this particular thing, they can log on to that and get an access. You will have a wider access to these things, and those people who were not fortunate enough to join will perhaps gain a lot from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jari Saab. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shri C.A. Jari Saab. And I think you've given us a lot of food to ponder upon. One really is taking back how simply and succinctly you have explained in terms of the compliance and the regulation. I think it's a big learning for each one of us, and how these changes which we keep thinking about, that this is the only constant. I do hope that these videos, the PPTs, I'm sure they're going to be on the YouTube, because that is what Ramanujan College has been doing in the past. And being in the public domain, all those people who have not been able to participate in it, or those who still want to learn, they will be able to use and make use of this information and knowledge. I'm sure next time we would really love to call you many more times to get really such wonderful advice, suggestions, so that these could always be incorporated somewhere in our planning and organizing too. Thank you once again, sir, for being with us.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call our very smiling principal, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, and to propose a vote of thanks. But before I do that, I think it would be unfair on my part if I do not, say my sentiments, and I'm sure they'll be echoed by everyone present here. Dr. S.P. Agarwal is one of the very, very few people one comes across who, despite being in any kind of stressful or anxious moments, would always be smiling and would be having the most composed and calm interior as well as exterior. Sir, you don many hats, and I think each one of that hat that you don, there is a very, very big success that one sees in the assignments. Dr. S.P. Agarwal is an alum of University of Delhi with his PhD from United States of America. And I think the college, which we now see as Ramanujan College, has had a meteoric rise under his able guidance, acumen, and leadership. In the next few years, I'm very, very confident, sir, that you will be able to take it to the top position of the university. With that, we request now Dr. S.P. Agarwal to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rekha ji. You always speak nice words about all of us. Thank you very much. Before I propose vote of thanks, a few things I would like to share with the dignitaries. First of all, good afternoon and welcome to all our dignitaries and participants who have joined today in this valedictory function of direct taxes and GST. Friends, the Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, who is looked after by Dr. J.L. Gupta and Sanjeev Singhal. Actually, Dr. J.L. Gupta is my teacher, guru. So when, we were together, we discussed that how can we spread the accounting and taxes knowledge among the society, among the masses, among the professionals, among the students, among the teachers. So we started doing several programs, for the benefit of students, teachers, and Ramanujan College, being a Delhi University maintained institution, has a center called Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission for Teachers and Teaching, which is basically to train the teachers. But we can, always include the professionals and students. So,
Sir, please unmute, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
We started getting a lot of success in these programs, and it is because we are fortunate, rather college is fortunate that we get the help of best of the professionals, just like Sanjeev and other people. Whenever we organize programs, Sanjeev arranges so much good people that like today also he said that the best of the people are available for this program, and it is not possible to do these kind of programs again and again. So that is how the college is very fortunate that we get a mileage. Rather, we are selfish in that way that these professionals help us to do so much which alone as an academician we cannot do. And besides that, the training which we organize, not only in these areas, we have been organizing in almost all the areas of social science, research, data analysis. And we have already trained about more than 70,000 teachers in this COVID situation, which Johari Saab was mentioning that, sir, we have a YouTube channel where our videos are all program videos are available. Anybody can go through it, and we have about 6 million viewership. So this is what the small institution of Delhi University is trying to do with the help of all these professionals. And this college has been very fortunate that people like you are with us, and we are always eager to do much more with the help of the professionals, industry, and other experts. So with this background, I would rather say the college is fortunate, we are fortunate, and we in a way are doing good for the society, for the students, and for the welfare of the teachers. So with this background, definitely my job is to propose a vote of thanks. First of all, I will take up our chief guest, CA Johari Sahab, RM Johari Sahab, who is Director General CAG of India, who spoke from his heart regarding compliance and regulation, which is the key words in taxes, whether it is direct or GST. So I, being a student of commerce and a little bit knowing the taxes, and I myself attended the lecture of CA Ahuja Sahab, and I was benefited, rather my institution was also benefited, in a sense that we are also facing some problems on a day-to-day basis, and unless until we are trained being chief executive, we cannot deliver the right things, and these professionals always help us in doing the right things. So sir, thank you very much for joining us, because all of you are very busy in your schedules and official work, but because of your commitment and because of Sanjeev ji, all of you are helping us in delivering good to these participants. So Johari Sahab, thank you very much for joining us today as chief guest of this program. Professor Pandey is always a guru for us. He has not directly taught me, but we always, he has recalled all those days of Delhi School of Economics. I think Professor Pandey is the student of Dr. R.K. Lele. We were student of Dr. R.K. Lele. So he used to talk about Professor Pandey all the time, that my student has gone to IIM Ahmedabad. So that was a kind of thing we always remember. And now we have been interacting with him on a regular basis. He has been kind enough that always whenever we remember, he is available for us. And he is a top class professional and financial expert, I can say, in the country. So with this, sir, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. CA Sushil Goyalji, very humble person, Central Council member from East. Sir, that is how all of us have background, and that's how we have come up. And you being so humble and sharing your thoughts with us is a great thing. And again, we are fortunate that people like you are joining us, and we now feel that Institute of Chartered Accountant is our own institute, and whatever we want to do, they will be available for us. So, and we are in a way a joint partner, and we might be doing some programs with them also. So with this, thank you very much, Sushilji. Sachin Jain, the Revenue Service Officer, again, he's with narcotics, which is in news these days all the time. And it is great of him that he joined today, because I can understand that he's very, very busy man because of a lot of things going in those things. And specifically, he is taking into the financial aspect of, because that's a police organization, he's undertaking the financial aspect. And this is the requirement today, that all the agencies, whether it is CBI, narcotics, or other agencies, that they must have experts from each and every area, so that justice can be done to the investigation. So thank you very much, Sachinji. And our own people, I don't know, I'm not thanking, but acknowledging, CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, always a nice gentleman, available to all of us whenever we call him, whenever we remember him, whenever we have program. He is the key to organize all this. So thank you. And we acknowledge that, Sanjeevji, you are doing a great service, not only to the society, to the institution, to all the sectors, because you are taking so many things at a time, being a professional, doing a corporate work, then the institute work, and then this philanthropic work. So a lot of work, it's great of you. Please take care of your health, because you are overworked. Always, in young age, we venture into all this, but we have to somewhere put a full stop. Again, our young man, Dr. J.L. Gupta, my guru, always very busy, always very inspiring. Whenever we have to do something, he's always available. He comes to Ramanujan College, and he proudly says that I'm here and I'm doing all my work from here itself. So thank you very much, sir, for advising us, guiding us, and doing all these activities. You are also promoting the good work in the society. Rekha ji, again, a great friend, a senior friend, and always available to us. This is basically a whole team, which is working for all this common good. And Rekha ji is one of them. Then Dr. Anjali Gupta, all our young team members, because we basically don't do anything. These young people do all the things. Anshika, Dr. Abha, CA Vaibhav Bhatnagar, Purushottam ji, Charu, Prashant, Akhil, all those people are doing a lot of work for organizing such functions. But last but not the least, the key is, as Johari Saab said, is our participants. They are the guiding force for us, and we learned a lot from them by organizing these programs. I think since COVID, we have organized about 30 programs, and from each and every program, we learn something new. So that is how we are being trained. We are also new to the technology, but now we are also become very familiar to the technology. So that is how the learning comes. And once you feel engaged, things become easier and easier. And these young people are helping you to do much better service to the society. See, I always advise my young friends, young colleague, that we should take the best of the experience in academic inputs, and you combine your technology into this so that we can produce the best, and we can produce best for the country itself. So with this, sir, thank you to each and everyone present today. And I'm sure looking forward that we will continue to be associated with us, and we will continue to do such programs more in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, please unmute, ma'am.
Rekha ji, unmute.
Sorry, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. JL Gupta और Dr. SP अग्रवाल सर के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं 2 लाइनें। ज्यादा ख्वाहिशें नहीं ऐ जिंदगी तुझसे, ज्यादा ख्वाहिशें नहीं ऐ जिंदगी तुझसे, बस अगला कदम पिछले से बेहतरीन हो। With that, we are looking forward to their next step.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, bye.
प्रेस रिलीज का देखना जरा, हाँ जी
जी सर।
देखा, देख लेना, हाँ, ओके।